The legendary Mr. Skin.
Mr. Skin. Dude, Mr. Skin.
MrSkin.com.
Skin, everybody.
Coast to coast from Los Angeles, Chicago, and New York, it's the Mr. Skin Podcast with your hosts Mr. Skin, Jimmy Fela, and Andrea Lowell. We want to hear from you. Call the show and leave us a voicemail at 484-SKIN-POD. Find all things Mr. Skin Podcast online at MrSkinPodcast.com.
Shit's about to go down. Here now is the man of the hour or so, the world's foremost authority on celebrity nudity, Mr. Skin, everybody. Mr. Skin, what's happening, Skin,
Hey,
man?
Jimmy. Hey, Andrea. Thanks so much. I'm excited. My first ever podcast. I've only done 10,000 radio interviews, but this is my first time as a co-host of a podcast. I'm very excited.
We're
This
making
is
history
fantastic.
today.
No one has as much knowledge as you do, Mr. Skin, on nude anything. You name it, you can call it out by the second, by the minute, anything regarding nudity on the small or big screen, you're the guy.
Yeah, well,
and that means something, because I'm in New York and I know a lot of perverts.
oh my
obviously.
God!
As a former New York City cab driver, I mean, I've never seen anyone masturbate indoors.
Well, let me tell you, the key to this thing is the fact that I actually make a living doing it. I know there's a lot of guys out there growing up that love nude scenes in movies. You know, if you ever worked in an office, probably none of us three qualify as working in offices in our day. But, you know, water cooler talk. Hey, did you see that show last night? Wow, what a nude scene. Or I saw a great movie over the weekend. And that's really what MrSkin.com is all about, is chronicling every single female nude scene in the history of movies and television. And when I started this thing in 1999, I swear to God, I raised a little money and I thought, geez, if I can just still keep my job at the Chicago Mercantile Exchange and make a little side cash, it'd be so worth it.
Did you say you worked for a Merkin company? Mr. Skin?
Yeah.
Merkin?
You know what? Hey, in 1999, I don't even think Merkins were invented yet. Merkins is if you don't know, it's a pubic wig. And with all the television shows now that are from a bygone era, and these girls doing full nude scenes, the funny thing is there's no girls anymore that have bush. So like if you're doing Boardwalk Empire or Game of Thrones, you look kind of funny with hardwood floors, right? So so they had to have, so whoever the guy that invested in the Merkin business in the 2000s is doing pretty well, because all the actresses, you know, you hire these extras off the street in LA to be in these things. Nobody has bush like what I'm used to from the good old days.
No, we're all lasered at least, or had a fresh wax.
Well, Andrew, when you were in high school, didn't everyone have full bush? I mean,
no. Well,
no, you're younger though. See, in full disclosure, I'm a lot older than Andrea, but when I was in high school, full pizza slice on every girl. It was not. There was no hardwood floors.
Hold on a second, Andrea. How old are you? Actually, that's rude. How much do you weigh?
No, I said I'm a lot older than Andrea. Believe me.
And a lot heavier and taller. No, I'm 33. I'm 115 pounds of all hotness.
By the way, I should point out that not only have I been going on Andrea's radio show, I was a guest on Andrea's radio show, Playboy Morning Show, for probably at least 12 years every Thursday, so I got to know her really well. But not only is Andrea a fantastic radio host, and I'm so excited to work with her, but she's the only radio host that is actually on MrSkin.com.
Whoa, hold on a second.
Yes.
Wait, Jimmy, you haven't peeped out the titties yet? Come on.
I have not peeped out the titties. This is going to make eye contact a lot
harder. See, the beauty of this
going forward.
As sick and disgusting as Jimmy probably is, he is not as perverted in a celebrity nudity thing. So I think a lot of stuff that I will share with him will make him extra excited, because he will not know about it. Now, Andrew was in the classic movie National Lampoon's The Stoned Age in 2007, and Wild and Blue in 2014.
That's right.
She showed her incredible rack, and I want to say, not only does she have an incredible rack, she's very beautiful, but when the few times I went out to LA to do live interviews with Andrea and her co-host, she would do the whole interview topless in honor of me, and it was awesome. She's really cool. Jimmy, you'd love Andrea. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, Yeah, this episode should be titled "The Death of Eye Contact." You're going to look you in the face again, but yeah, I'm on the job. Don't worry about it, you guys.
Anything we can do to make you feel awkward or uncomfortable, great.
If for any reason my audio feed goes dead for 3 minutes and 28 seconds, just understand it's for a good cause.
Yeah, that's
okay.
right. Yeah, and I think
Gotcha.
Andrew, wasn't one of your characters hooker number one and some? It was like, there was some funny. I remember looking one time at the names of some of your characters, but you were in some cool movies that we really love at MrSkin.com. So
it's pretty funny how I always get the hookers that get murdered roles. I guess I'm one of the few actresses in Hollywood that's willing to do full simulated sex scenes. My actual body, no body double, and just be a. My title on the show is Hooker 1, Hooker 2, Dead Hooker 4.
Can I tell you something, though? That's not half as demeaning as being what I get, which is guy who kills hooker.
I enjoy it, though. I like showing off the girls. You know what? I was blessed with a great rag. Why not share it with the world?
And I'm telling you, and I said this to Andrea when I was out in L.A. the first time, we did a show where we rented a place in Malibu on the beach. It was ridiculous, and it was a beautiful location. It was the first time I had met her in person, and she was just, because she's just so cool. She did the whole interview topless, and I remember I was embarrassed how much I was into her chest. I mean, I look at breasts for a living, and Jimmy, I'm telling you, she is A+ talent in that regard.
Thank
and
you.
a beautiful person.
Okay, enough about
Yeah,
me.
no, I mean,
I
sorry,
feel like
you
I'm
can tell
buying
we're guys,
I feel
right?
like I'm buying a timeshare on Andrea's tits.
I know. I'm sorry.
You and your family can visit 3 weekends a year, no blackout exclusions. This
Yeah.
is
Right.
fabulous.
Yeah, if you want to see
Fabulous
for yourself,
investment.
go to the Andrea Lowell page at MrSkin.com. So
That's right, baby.
Yeah.
Now, Mr. Skin, let's talk about you. How did this start? When did you say, I want to take my passion for boobs and other body parts on the big screen and actually kind of consolidate this information into a website?
Well, when I was a kid, I was just one of those guys, and I think it also was the era I grew up in. I grew up in the 70s, so I could remember when all there was ABC, CBS, and NBC, when, finding nudity, we didn't have cell phones, we didn't have computers, so all of a sudden, in the fall of 1980, my dad not only gets cable television, but he also gets this thing called a Betamax. So as a kid who got all his thrills out of looking at National Geographic and the Sears catalog in the 70s, all of a sudden I have HBO, Showtime, and Cinemax in my living room. And I could actually tape the shows so I wouldn't miss any of the nude scenes. So I started making these collections. Jimmy, those guys, you probably have friends that made like hockey fight, best hockey fight tapes, 5-hour tapes. I had boxes and boxes of just nude scenes from movies. And not only did I have this stuff and religiously tape it and just edit the nude scenes onto other videotapes so I had just the nudity, but I would chronicle it. I would note down the times. I would divide it into television stars, movie stars. I became like a kind of a creepy expert on female nudity in film, but I was doing it not for a future career, just out of a love and a passion for cinematic nudity.
I love it.
Yeah, and you know what I was doing while you were doing that? I was trying to masturbate to scrambled Playboy.
Yes.
Remember,
We've
you
all
hit
been
3
there.
and 7 on the cable box.
We've
You
all
pulled the
been
knob
there.
down, and
Yeah,
you'd
no, I know
try to see
exactly.
what you wanted to see.
I know exactly what you're talking about. But, that was the thing. And my friends growing up, I was a great party trick because by the time I was in high school and I was taping all this stuff, my buddies would come over to my house. So before we'd go out, we'd have a few beers at my place, watch a couple hours of my nudity-only clips of just the nude scenes, and they thought it was the greatest thing because I was the only guy that had cable and a VHS, and we go out and have a riot, and it was just and I turned into a fun party trick too because I started to know this stuff off the top of my head, and my buddies would just quiz me all the time, and I'd not only tell them if an actress that maybe they wanted to know was nude, but I would know the exact time in the movie. And it was because all I did was watch these things and tape it as a kid. Again, for not thinking down the road I'd actually get to do this for a living. I just did it for fun. Another thing that happened here is we had August 10th was our 17th anniversary of MrSkin.com, and we did a office party on Friday, which is always fun. That's the time when I could go out and get drunk with our 45 or so employees here, and we had a great time. And it's pretty cool. 17 years. It seems like time's flown, but 17 years—that's a long time to be doing this. Is pretty.
Now let me ask you a
That's a great
question,
run.
Skin. Do you guys, when you guys have office parties, is there anyone on the staff? I mean, I could hazard a guess as to who I think it would be, but is there anyone on the staff that makes the office party memorable beyond like the regular goings on of?
Every year we give a lampshade award because our parties are so much fun and people just go nuts. But there's always someone that takes it to the next limit. You know that. Maybe is making a copy machine of their ass.
Yeah,
or,
that's what I'm talking about.
That guy who
or gal.
or gal. We've had my sister actually got our lampshade award.
No,
or maybe multiple. Yeah, she only had 3 drinks, but she was out of her
that's
tree.
hilarious.
But yeah, it's fun. Listen, we have a really fun group. One of the things that is different now when we have parties, we'd always have Christmas parties and stuff. But in the early days, we were. We were all like, I was in my early 40s. I was the oldest guy. Now I go to these parties and we have people 23, 24, 25. I'm leaving to go home by 10 o'clock. They're out till 4 in the morning.
That's really funny.
It's a different world
so
here. It's a different
productive
world.
week, but we weren't the only ones who did productive things. I understand Andrea was filming The Revenant 2. What did you do? You went camping?
I did. I'm an avid camper, hiker, anything outdoorsy. I'm all about it. And it doesn't really fit the kind of caricature of me. People are like, oh, you're glamorous, you're this, you're that. No, I'm really a dirty hippie at heart. And I was out in Wyoming and went to Yellowstone and the Grand Tetons, and I got one with nature. And yeah, there was tons of bear shit everywhere, fresh.
Now
do bears?
Yeah.
Are you like out where a bear could actually come up to your tent like that?
Yes.
Crazy camping?
100%. Yeah. We did a lot of backcountry hiking, and we stay at the less desirable campsites because it's first come, first serve if you don't make a reservation months in advance. So we specifically pick the campsites that are a little more backcountry so we can get a spot. And yeah, there's bears everywhere.
Now, when you're sleeping, can a bear like walk up to your tent
Yes.
and screw with you? Really?
Yeah. You could get pounced and smashed.
I love how you asked like.
So how do you sleep?
But I love how you asked like when you're sleeping as if there's like an etiquette. Like you asked it as if it was like a code of honor question.
Well,
No,
you wouldn't see it coming.
I know.
It's terrifying. What you do is, you go in knowing and you go in prepared. You have bear spray in your tent. I have like 2 knives on me at all times, and you just put earplugs in and try not to hear it because it does happen. And it's happened to me before, not where they attack, but where they're kind of sniffing out the tent, and it's really scary. So the best thing to do is just pop earplugs in and don't have food in your tent.
Jesus. What is bear spray? What is it exactly?
It's just really high-powered pepper spray, and it's a huge canister, so you can, get something the size of a bear and also the distance to keep a bear. So it can spray about 30, 40 feet and just kind of stops them in their tracks. It's very much like pepper spray or mace.
And away they go.
Could you imagine?
No, that is so crazy to me. Like
I know, it's just funny that's like
that's my idea of vacation.
I know, that's like to me that's my idea.
Yeah, like I got to the Grand Hyatt in Atlanta and freaked out because there was a bottle cap on my desk. I was like, yo, I don't feel safe in here. This isn't right.
Know what?
That's great.
There's something about that kind of fear that's exciting for me, and knowing that I'm totally connecting with nature and immersing myself in it. That's just the way I roll. So, different strokes for different folks.
Yeah.
But my question for you guys is, I feel like the pendulum is sort of swinging back, and I know Andrea knows this. Emily, I don't know if you know this, but I'm a guy. When I was a kid looking at my first magazines in the 70s, big, huge 70s Bush. I was a big fan of it. And, I've seen since I started this website 17 years ago, less and less of what I loved from the 70s and 80s and more like shaved or landing strips. But I'm kind of sensing over what I've been seeing in nude scenes over the last 3 or 4 years where the Bush is making a comeback. And I want to know what you guys think, and even socially, what you're seeing in the locker room. Is this, am I imagining this, or is this true?
I 100% agree with you. I think it is making a comeback. When you look at the pictures of Vale Bloom, she has a bush, but it's super manicured. It's not wild. Yes. It's not out of control. I don't think we will ever see a full 70s bush again unless we're watching a period piece in a movie. But as far as like the locker room's concerned, unless girls have, or ladies rather, have completely lasered it all off, I'm seeing a return of bush. What about you, Emily?
Yeah, is the bush back? That's what I'm always I get asked this all the time. And I think that I think women want the bush to be back a little bit.
Oh,
I think,
less maintenance.
Right? So what'd you say? Right?
Well, that's a question.
It's annoying.
Is it a laziness thing or a style thing?
Kind of both.
It's both. It's like, can we just let it grow? No, but I think Andrea 100% right. We don't even want that. We don't want to go to the beach and have to be like tucking in our pubic hair before we take off our shorts because it's sticking out of our, like, it's not going to be that crazy again, right? Like there's some pubes coming down my left thigh. Like, no, I think we are going to have it like manicured and stuff like that, manicured and cut. Cause also here's the thing about it is that even like it feels better for women to have less hair. We are, the clitoris has 8,000 nerve endings. Like, why cover any of that up? Have it to be inhibited by hair. So sex can actually feel better when you add a little bit of lube and you remove the hair. But you can remove some of the hair, not all the hair. So it's like bare like the baby's bottom. So I do think that hopefully women are feeling empowered to just kind of bring it back however they want.
Yeah. Emily, you mentioned about going swimming. I got to tell you, and this is a memory I'll never forget. When I was a kid, like in 4th or 5th grade in the 70s, I was at the local pool and my friend's mom was just sitting there talking to her friends and she had the big vines hanging out on each side of
Jesus.
And to this day, it's like vivid memory of seeing my friend's mom's bush hanging out of her bathing suit. I still to this day have
Mr.
that
Skin?
ingrained in my head. That could explain a lot of my issues.
I have the same memory and it's also ingrained in my mind. It was a friend's mom and this was, before I had pubic hair. So I was like, what in the hell is that? And it kind of terrified me, and I think it traumatized me a little bit.
Well, we call that when we find that at Mr. Skin, and there has been many movies, especially in the 70s or 80s, where that happens outside of women's underwear. We affectionately call that the caged monkey. Yeah. See, this is the kind of stuff Emily will not have on her podcast, but here you will hear the word caged monkey.
I love caged monkey, and I love all the things I hear from you. Like the first time I heard I'm going to do it wrong, the back burger or whatever.
Back burger,
the rear burger.
Yeah, Dr. Drew and I were just like, the burger. We talk about it all the time. The back burger. Yeah, I mean, I hear you. I mean, here's the thing though. When I even got lasered, I got lasered. I just the areas,
I have laser too.
So lasered being, it's gone.
It's gone forever, but this is
gone forever. But not everything, right? Not everything.
No, because I thought to myself, what if the bush comes back? What if I want my bush back? I don't want to give up the power of ever having my bush back. I would like to. So I only got rid of the stuff that I know I would never want back. That stuff that would crawl down the side of my legs.
Yeah,
so
I'm with you, Emily. Yeah.
You don't think the crawl down the side of your legs will ever come back in style?
If it does, I'm cool to step that.
Boy, I'll be back out there if that's the case. No, it's just a memory I have from the 70s.
That's a good one.
But would you say, here's what I've also noticed from movies, and tell me if you guys see this in real life, is landing strips were more 2000s and maybe 90s, and in the 10s, I'm seeing more of a triangle. Does that sound right? Like, is landing strips still happening as much as it was in the 2000s?
What I noticed was there were really hard lines in the late 90s and the early 2000s where it was manicured specifically to be that hard, tiny, Scotch tape width and length, of pubic hair. Now I feel it's softer. The lines aren't so defined. It's more kind of blended out, like a fade.
Yeah. Okay.
It's more like when they do your haircut, like when you're getting your hair, like your hair and your head cut, they do kind of like a layering. It's kind of like that look. Like it's not as manicured. You didn't try as hard to get my friend once called it the Hitler's mustache.
Hitler mustache. Right?
Yeah,
right.
Sorry, I mean, it's not very PC. I'm Jewish. It's okay, right? I can say this. I'm Hitler stuff,
yeah.
But no,
you could be angry. Yeah.
I think that, I think it's a little more messier now, but still trimmed. So it's like a little messier, whatever style you want. And
like
it's
our friend Vale Bloom from Too Late is what Andrew was saying is she has a triangle, but it's a putting green triangle.
Exactly.
So, which is nice. in honor of the VMAs, I thought I would kind of walk down memory lane with you guys because I put together a list of the sexiest video music award moments of all time. And there actually's been some really good stuff. By the way, Maddie, did our internet just go out, or am I?
Yeah, your server's down.
Yeah, they're doing what we call load balancing. It's not what it sounds like.
All right, there's a load balance. So anyway, I know what the list is. I don't need to look at my pictures, but I really wanted you guys to see it. But anyway, let me go. So you guys will remember some of this, some of it you might not. But in the history of the Video Music Awards, this is what I consider the sexiest moments of all time. Definitely the first one was one of the early shows was in 1984. Remember when Madonna sang like a virgin and she was wearing that very virgin outfit?
Yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah. That is definitely one of the great moments in the Video Music Awards. So we have that on the list. Another moment back in 1998, the year before I launched MrSkin.com. Remember Rose McGowan? She was on the show Charmed. And,
yes.
She dated Marilyn Manson.
Love her. Her body is so good.
She's one of those girls with jet black hair and like white skin. The contrast is unbelievable. Great rack. The whole thing.
Like Snow White with a big set of tits.
Yeah.
Oh my God, yes. So she was a date of Marilyn Manson in 1998. And oh, by the way, our page is working, so you guys could follow along again. But so she's with Marilyn Manson. She is in now this is 1998, and she's in literally just a see-through dress. She did have a thong, but a completely see-through dress. And I remember when that came out, this was a big deal.
Yeah.
Nobody dressed like that or had the guts to do it, and she did. It was really cool.
She's amazing in that shot. In that shot, which is on our website, MrSkinPodcast.com, you'll also notice that Marilyn Manson looks like a Sacha Baron Cohen character.
Yeah, it's funny you say that. He does.
Totally.
It looks like a prank, but she is, I want to say this about Rose McGowan. She's the one who kind of turned me on to pale chicks.
I agree.
Yeah. Do you have skin in your head, in your Rolodex? And maybe this is something for a future podcast. Some type of breakdown of the best pale women in movies. Because when a pale is done well, it really does work.
Like, are we talking like Nicole Kidman?
Yeah, you got to go like
Rose
really
McGowan?
right. Rose McGowan topless is
sensational. It's like ivory. You just want to play those keys.
Exactly. It's like and you talk about but you also have to have very few blemishes because the contrast will ruin your whole white look that you're going for.
Yeah,
that's true too. It's like wearing white. Yeah, you can't spill anything on it.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah, it's got to be flawless. Oh my gosh, she's like milk.
Yeah, but that was definitely one of the sexy moments. Now it happened obviously on the red carpet, but it was all over that was like right at the very, very, very beginning of the internet, and this was a big deal when she wore that outfit. So now the next thing I remember, this was also when I was trying to rack my brain for some good stuff, was, do you remember the following year? Remember Lil' Kim had that thing, she had that purple wig, and then she was wearing this dress where her whole boob was hanging out, but she had a pasty over it. Well, for a while in the show, they weren't really, when she went up there, nobody really said anything, and then all of a sudden Diana Ross came over and just put her hand on her boob, and it was a very funny moment, but also a very sexy moment in the VMAs, which I'll always remember. That's a great moment too.
Yeah, has anyone seen Little Kim lately, by the way?
Yes. And I'm such a huge Lil' Kim fan from back in the 90s.
Her. Yes, I loved her in the 90s.
And her music is so nasty, and I just it's right up my alley, and I'm like, stop messing with yourself, babe. Love yourself.
Yeah.
She's got to stop with the plastic surgery. Little
and
Kim
the
was
skin
really
bleaching.
Yeah, you don't want her to be Big Kim. You want her to be Little Kim. Well, when Diana Ross jiggles her breasts, and I'm looking at it on a GIF right now, a GIF or a GIF, whatever. It's really awesome. So definitely check that out. One of my sexiest moments of all time. Now, if I had to say the most iconic moment, if it wasn't Madonna singing like a virgin, I have to go with, remember I think it was in 2001 when Britney Spears, she did that song, but she had a live snake around her neck. Do you remember that? It was just, the Britney Spears stripping, singing with a snake around her neck is still one of the great moments. And Britney Spears is making a pretty good comeback these days.
Absolutely.
Looking good, by the way. Looking really good.
She looked good last night. I saw her performance last night. She doesn't have, it's really interesting. I was watching that with my wife, and she doesn't have hips.
No.
Do you know what I mean by that? She's
Yeah.
like a really narrow, like she dresses hot and dances hot,
Yeah.
but I don't find her hot. It's a weird, like she's like a weird body. I once heard someone say she's like a Muppet with tits, which I think works, you know? But
we have at our website, she was at when she was like 18 or something, she was at the Kid Choice Awards. And I got to tell you, man, one of the great, if I had to make my all-time favorite nipping out scenes was Britney Spears with no bra at the Kid Choice Awards from I can't remember the year
What
it
an
was,
appropriate
but
place
we
for
have it
that.
at the website.
No, I agree with both of you. I actually think she's really hot, beautiful, sexy, and she knows how to work her body, but she does have narrow hips. But she does her best to really work them and twerk them, because you're born the way you're born. So she does her best.
Okay, so moving down the list, I got a couple more I wanted to get to. Is another famous moment. It was the Madonna making out with Britney Spears. Remember that?
yes.
And Christina Aguilera.
Well-
Christina is the often forgotten part of this.
I didn't know she was in that up until now. Like I'm
See?
watching it.
Yeah.
And I'm glad Maddie was able to find this. So what happened was, Madonna starts to make out with Britney Spears, and
With tongue.
with tongue, and the camera, whoever was directing, camera people over at VMAs just freak out. They shift to Justin Timberlake, and when that happened, then that's when Madonna reached over to start making out with Christina Aguilera. So it's kind of cut up. It wasn't as good as it could have been because there was kind of a panic situation going on. But there's ways to see it, and we have this on our page, and it really was hot. That Britney and Madonna
this so
kissing.
hot? The fact that the camera people weren't aware that this was going to happen
Exactly.
means that it was impromptu. Means that Madonna just felt so hot and sexy with these two pop star vixens that she just wanted to kiss them both. Woo!
Well,
Two up-and-comers.
if you look closely, you can see her sucking their career success out of their mouths. That was a voodoo curse right there. Because after this, if you remember,
actually agree with you a
Britney
little bit.
shaved her head and took a dump in a pizza box. Do you remember this?
Yeah,
And
it
then
was
Christina
bad.
blew up like she gained like 40 pounds. No, there's something maybe going on with that, Jimmy. You might be onto something.
This is a voodoo curse right here.
I never thought of that, but I will say, I gotta say, because I'm watching it on a GIF again as you guys are talking, and the Britney Madonna kiss is
so
sexy
hot.
as hell. This is
real deal.
great. All right,
Because it's so light and nasty.
yes,
Yes.
it's so hot, so hot.
Yes.
And then, hey, finally, my other last thing I can't forget. Miley Cyrus, before she started doing all these nude, photo stuff and modeling, she had that moment, the grinding with Robin Thicke. Remember that, where she was up on stage and he was like behind her, she bent down, and that was a very controversial thing, especially because it wasn't the Miley Cyrus that we know today. It was this was in her transition period to becoming the new Miley from the kid TV Hannah Montana Miley. But and then she took and Maddie, I'm glad you took this picture for the site, but she got that big foam finger and was like kind of fingering herself while she was singing. It's like, this is like great. Now this is when the VMAs were good, right? Yeah.
I don't find Miley sexy, but what she's doing is very sexy.
It's very. Listen, at the stage it was, and I'm sure that this wasn't cleared ahead of time that she was going to finger herself with a big foam.
Hell no.
We're number one thing, but I love it. And then the Robin Thicke, like, there's no way that she let them know she was going to bend down, butt to his crotch for doggy style during the song. There's just no way.
No.
So that's what makes it cool.
I really like Robin Thicke, by the way, not even as an artist, because he's like one guy who really got famous and was horny, and it got the best of him.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Do you know how many pictures there are of him on the internet where he's like taking a picture with a girl, but he's grabbing two other girls' asses at the same time?
Oh, yeah.
Like, on some level, I respect that. That guy is,
I'm with you.
is driven.
Well, I remember him being on Howard Stern, and he was talking about his relationship with his wife Paula Patton, and how everything was going great. Next thing you know, they had a divorce, and oh god! And she's, by the way, you can see Paula Patton naked at MrSkin.com in the movie Deja Vu with Denzel Washington.
Nice.
At the 39-minute mark. So yeah, that's very good stuff. But yeah, I remember that was kind of sad because they had like this great relationship. Then he got famous, and now it's kind of in the toilet.
Weren't they like high school sweethearts or something
Yeah,
crazy?
they were together for a long time, yeah. Yeah, very bad. But anyway, So I wanted to move on, but yeah, that was the VMAs. So that was my little list for you guys of my sexiest moments from the VMAs.
This concludes another scintillating episode of the Mr. Skin Podcast. Subscribe to the Mr. Skin Podcast in iTunes and never miss a show. Thanks for listening.